and welcome to this week's angling vlog. This week you join me on the banks of the river and we're in search of chub. As you've seen from the opening piece on the vlog, it's -3 today. It is freezing and I mean cold, but we're out in search of chub on the stick float. So when conditions are this cold, you really have got to be selective about the species that you choose. For me, grayling, dace, chub and pike would be the 4 fish that I would be targeting today if it was going to go bankside. Beyond them species, I think you're pretty much better off staying in the house, having a warm cup of tea and watching the TV. The river behind me has been in flood recently, but is fining off nicely. The fact that it has been in such a severe flood does mean that it is clinging on to that colour a bit longer than it would normally. So what it means is we've got a river behind us with a nice pace, but it is carrying that extra colour. Extra cold today is going to mean it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy today. Let's take a look at the rod, the setup and the swim we're going to target. So the rod that I'm going to be using today is the Coldest Glide. It is the 12 to 14 foot version and I've got it set today at 14 foot. The reel that I'm going with is the Shimano Techium reel, and on there I've got 4 pound 4 ounce float fish. So that's down to a 10 number 4 dome top stick float. I've gone with the dome top and the heavier float than I would normally use because I want to really edge that bait through today. It's cold and I just want to slow that bait down and really hold it back through the swim. When we take a look at the swim, you will recognise it, and we do know it shallows up towards the end. So that dome top is going to help me hold back, but also give me the buoyancy to pull them shot over that shallower bit of the swim where I'm hoping them chub are going to be. That is down to a bulk shot of number 4 Dinsmore weight. Again, got to get that bait down in the water today. There is a bit of pace still on the river, but that will keep the bait down in them lower layers, and when we hold back, it's just going to allow that bait to go up in the water a bit and flutter back down. Got a 2 pound 1 ounce Bay of Pearl on hook link with 2 number 8 droppers, and that is down to a tiny size 18 Kamazan animal hook. When you're approached with a swim like this today, there's no point rushing. As you can see on screen now, when I first arrived, just been putting bait in the swim the whole time I've been setting up, just beginning to get that trailer bait going down. But even that I don't think will be enough today to us go straight in and get a bite. I've got a feeling it's going to be hard. It is bitterly cold, and I mean bitterly cold. It's not going to be easy today. So the first cast, and I am going to try and just keep going down the middle today to where the deeper water is going to be, and it's a bit closer to me. I'm going to try and avoid trying to go over the far side. It can be sometimes where them chub are, but I'm just hoping today if we keep going down this middle line we can pick them up. Sometimes the cold can really push them, and you can have some of your best days chub fishing when it's freezing because that cold pushes them to feed. But it's fishing and you never truly really know till you try. I'm just going to keep persevering with it. I'm going to keep putting my bait in, trickling a bit of hemp in, because hemp will stay on the bottom, whereas maggots will go downstream and keep going. Hemp by its nature is heavier and it will stay. We are going to keep putting maggots in quite positively every cast. You know, we want to let them chub know that there's food on offer, draw their attention, because it's that need to feed that we're preying on today. Regular viewers to the channel will recognise the swim, and the one thing you've got to do at this time of year is take some of the variables away that are going to play on your mind. We know this is an area we've had chubbing before and you're confident there could be some in the area. Today, when there's frost on the ground like that, is not a day to go exploring new swims and finding new areas. You want to be going somewhere where you've had fish before and you're confident that there's fish in the area. You don't want to be going down wondering whether there's any fish about. So we've had some quite good days here, so I'm quite confident that when the river's been in flood, maybe these chub have moved on this inside or on the inside of that bend there, you know, to get some sanctuary from the flood water. Right on the verge of giving in. The float's buried. Been feeding those maggots and just drip feeding that hemp for the past probably hour and a half easily, and like I say, getting on more for 2 hours really. Right on the verge of giving in, going home for a warm cup of tea. That floater's buried and it is absolutely ice cold, and it's so cold in fact that my GoPro that I've been on standby, literally waiting to press the play button if I got a bite, the battery has actually died while it's been turned off. But I say one was the target and we've managed to get a bite, but it's hard worked for. Just hoping we can get it in. And what a result that is on a bitterly cold day. This fish is like a block of ice. It has been so cold today, and -3, you come out and you're hopeful of a bite, sticking at it, as I say, an hour and a half, getting on for 2 hours without a bite, and then all of a sudden the float buries. Where there's one, there can sometimes be more. So we'll be trotting with a bit more confidence in the next hour, and hopefully, you know, we can pick up 1 or 2 more. Just shows even on the coldest of days when you think you've got no chance, you come out here and give it a go, you can just pick up 1 or 2 fish. Still bitterly cold, it's absolutely freezing. You can see none of that ice is defrosted. It is a cold day, but a bit warmer after that chub. Let's see if we can get another. So one thing I haven't stopped doing for that first 2 hours is feeding. Although getting towards that stage where I was close to giving in, you know, you do lose that confidence. One thing you've got to keep doing is putting that bait in. If you stop putting the bait in, then you really have got no chance. So one thing with these YouTube videos that is really hard to get across is time. You know, an hour and a half, 2 hours is a long time when you're constantly trotting down, feeding and going down the river. You know, you must go down 100 times easily, just keep feeding and going down. But that is very hard to get across on a video where you just see the intro and then within a couple of minutes, you know, we're playing a chub. But you need to have some context about the video, I think, and that is an hour and a half to 2 hours worth of trotting for 1 fish. So 2 hours has passed now since we had that chub, and the problem we've got is it is cold, very cold, but it's cold again tomorrow. Normally you'd be thinking, well, you know, you get into that witching hour towards the end of the day, it might come on, but the reality is as the day goes on, it's only going to get colder. And sometimes you've just got to be happy you've had one, and I'm proper made up with that chub. Hard worked for, you know, a bend in the rod on a freezing cold day. And I said it before, the temperature's not changed, that frost still on the ground. Maybe if we give it a couple of days of this frost, the fishing will improve, but the fact that it's the first day can really hit venues, and I don't think you'd have gone anywhere today, certainly not them carp venues that we've been going. That does bring an end to the session. Some days you can come on this river like you've seen before and you can get 4 or 5 chub and have a very good day's fishing. Some days you've just got to be happy with the one. So one of the sides of being an all-round angler who does get out through all the seasons over many years, you do get a good sense of how the sessions are going to go. Today, on that first frost, I knew it was going to be hard. When that frost has been around for a couple of days, the fish will get used to it, but that initial hit is always hard. Unfortunately, at the moment, couldn't pick or choose the day that I could go. So with the river being fishable, I thought get out there and give it a go. If anything, today shows that you can get out there and get a bend in the rod. and some days that is what it's all about. So I hope you've enjoyed this week's vlog, coming along on this journey with me on this bitterly cold day. It'd be great if you could like and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I want to wish you all tight lines in your own fishing, and I'll catch you all next week. Tight lines.